All right, good morning. I hope everybody's having a good day. This is Travis Wood at Grover Real Estate. I'm here on the north side of Smith Lake. I'm going to walk this 1.49 acre parcel on the water. You can see I'm standing here at the road. It's just a kind of a dirt gravel road. It is county maintained, so this would be plowed in the wintertime. You can see we've got electric box right there that would be easy to tap into. The neighbor's driveway is right there. You can see the other neighbor kind of through the trees over there. So you'd have neighbors on either side. Decent frontage on the road, not a ton, but it does open up a little bit as we get to the water's edge. So we'll kind of walk in. This property's listed for $75,000, which I think is a pretty good price for acre and a half. Beautiful kind of building site. Smith Lake does have covenants, so this would be something that would really be best suited to somebody who's looking to build year-round home or a cabin. A little bit of a clearing right here. Looks like it's just for these kind of power poles that run through the property, but there's none on this parcel. Looks like that one right there is right about the boundary line. It does gently slope down towards the water, kind of nice mix of trees. Hear a woodpecker there. Pretty high and dry. Obviously, it's going to dip down once we get closer to the water. That's kind of a pretty looking mushroom right there. But it is wooded, but it's not super dense. I think you could punch in a nice kind of meandering driveway through here, just taking out trees here and there if you wanted a lot more kind of tree coverage. But obviously you'd have options if you wanted to open up the property a little bit more. And let's see, what else? The waterfront is kind of oriented southwest. So you'd get really nice light throughout the day. You can see the sun is coming up. It's about 7:30 in the morning right now. So the sun is going to come up over there to the east. And then throughout the day, it's going to kind of move through the sky and set over there in the west. Get really, really pretty sunsets here for sure. But pretty nice so far. I do see kind of a lower pocket that we're heading towards. Some standing water, looks like a little puddle. We've had a lot of snow melt recently. We had a long winter, lots of snow, and then recently some rain. So I'm not super shocked to see this. We're pretty close to the water's edge as well. I would almost think if it were me, just kind of looking at what we got here, you can see the water through the trees there. I think that area that I just kind of walked in, kind of right here, would probably be your best building site. That appears to be a relatively decent high ground ridge. So you'd be set back from the water a little bit, but I wouldn't think it would be suitable to build down here right on the edge. Although it does pick back up down there, so I guess you just have to kind of get in here and see. So I'm going to risk some wet feet and try to kind of walk through this here. All right. So Smith Lake is a really quiet, peaceful lake. They don't allow for any motorboats or anything like that. So you could take a boat out there, but you're more limited to a kayak or a rowboat, paddle boat, things like that. They don't allow any motors. I even heard a story once of somebody going out there to ice fish, and they had an auger, and it was gas powered, and they were told, nope, you can't use that. Everything has to be manual, no gas, no motors. But look how pretty. There's kind of a open clearing right here. I don't know if this was cleared out at one point or if this is natural, but I mean, this is pretty gorgeous. So I know there's many areas of Smith Lake that are pretty good for swimming. You know, obviously it's pretty chilly right now. I'm not going to be dipping my toe in the lake, but I do see some vegetation, you know, some tall grass, shrubbery, things like that, which is good. It helps kind of preserve your shoreline and holds everything in place. So I would not advise somebody coming in and clearing this completely, but yeah, I think you could get a dock. It looks relatively shallow. I'd say only about a foot or so out to about that little clump of weeds, and then it's going to drop off. But I think the setting kind of speaks for itself. Noticing already some signs of wildlife. We've got some woodpecker holes there. Looks like there was a beaver here at one point. I saw a couple different animal droppings on the walk in, so it's definitely inhabited, not by people right now, but yeah. That's about it. If you have any questions about this property, I can send some additional info, maps, property lines, things like that. You can feel free to give me a call, 906-450-5080, or you could email me at traviswoodrealtor@gmail.com. Yeah, look at that. The water is like glass right now. Really pretty up here in the fall. But yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any questions about this, you can feel free to reach out. But that's about it. Hope this was helpful, and have a great day.